What's shaking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of The Cure, and we're returning for the penultimate tune on their 1981 album Faith. Thank you again to Philip for sharing the deluxe edition of these records. And the second to last tune is The Drowning Man. Drowning is to be immersed or indeed submerged in water such that you are not able to breathe, which for those of us who respirate air is a serious problem. It speaks to not being able to get to the surface and to get into a situation or condition where you can persist and survive. And ultimately, I would expect it to be more figurative or metaphorical, the idea of being immersed in or overwhelmed by the conditions around you which are not conducive to survival. Certainly, being in water in that way has religious connotations, the idea of baptism or needing to be saved. Though again, it sounds like something dangerous, perilous, and potentially fatal to be drowning, which is not just to be immersed or submerged in water, but to be in danger of running out of breath and therefore life. So, yeah, ultimately it seems like a very fitting title given the themes that are being expressed and explored across the course of the record, though I don't know exactly the avenue in which those themes will manifest here. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is The Cure, the track is The Drowning Man, and it's from their 1981 album Faith. mesmerizing tune. Indeed, it felt cyclical but slow and languid, and like it was just churning over and over, which gave me a sense of being below the water line where, again, in water our movements are more restricted, so we move slower and with more difficulty. The sound was sort of echoed and hazy, which if you're underwater you can't see as clearly, at least the way our eyes as humans work, as you can above water in transparent air. And sounds are different and more muffled and echoed, and they sound more distant. And there was the whole time that backing vocal, which was sort of ghostly, but again sort of distant, a bit muffled, a bit echoed. So it felt like the whole experience of the track was like being underwater and sinking down, even as you look up to try to see what you can at the surface. I heard a line about, she's looking across the water, and there was a line later about, what was it? At first I thought it was breathing like the drowning man, and I was curious how to interpret that, and if you're drowning, you're not breathing well, you're in danger, you're breathing water, which is very bad. But then it sounded more clearly like dreaming like the drowning man, and the idea of perhaps, your oxygen in your brain is, you're running out of your ability to process things because you're deprived of oxygen for so long that your organs start to shut down and aren't functioning correctly, and maybe that sends you into this warm, sort of still somewhat lucid but delusional state that, there's people who have survived near drownings and talked about how it was almost like their brain started dreaming. So I wondered if that was the essence, that it's getting close to the point where this guy is going to die. But again, we heard reference to a female, so it sounds like maybe there's multiple characters, even if we're talking something that's figurative or metaphorical. I like the way Smith's vocals in the lead would kind of overlap each other, so I think it was an example of production where they're overlaying some of the lines that he's delivered, so as one is finishing, another one is already starting. So the idea of maybe being in this delirious state where you're almost hearing yourself talk because the perception of your brain, or the time in which your brain is processing things, is beginning to become distorted. So I don't know if any of those conceptual elements are actually intended in the track, but the way the track came across was very much like being in a drowning state. If there is connection to the idea of faith and believing in something, maybe the dreaming line has some significance there, but I didn't really make those connections the way I was able to on a couple of the previous tracks, where the idea of not being convinced by the cultural milieu in which you're being raised, or thinking differently as you get older and become an adult relative to just having information given to you or inculcated within you as a youth. Those songs came across a bit more clearly thematically on a first listen, so here I will again lean on those who've been providing insight in that regard. But certainly the experience of the song, the sonics of the track, conveyed the title and the types of phenomena that you would associate with the drowning man. So either way, looking forward to the final track on the record. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.